Hello, my name is Eric, and this is another episode of Factorio for Mere Mortals. Today I want to talk about a problem some of you have probably experienced that I call furnace overproduction. And what it is where you have a situation like this where you're trying to make copper cable, and one blue copper cable assembler needs 2.4 electric furnaces making copper plates in order to supply it. Well, if you make 2, that's not going to be enough, and if you make 3, that's too much, and that's illustrated here. The copper plates are lined up on the belt, and this one's trying to output, but the belt is full, and every now and then it'll drop down and it gets to place 1, but then it's all the while this furnace is working. So you can see this furnace is empty because it's able to output its plates immediately, as does this one, but this one is almost completely full. It has, 100 plates now. So you've basically wasted 100 pieces of copper ore that you might have needed elsewhere, especially if you're running an ore bus and you're just pulling copper for what you need this section to make. And you're also going to have fluctuations in your power usage, and there's a number of reasons why this is undesirable to have this furnace sitting here full like this. But I figured out a way to overcome this. Very simply, actually. So here I'm going to set up the same thing. I'm going to have 3 furnaces making copper plate going into this copper cable maker. But before I get started, I'm going to take just a single piece of wire. It doesn't matter if it's green or red. And I'm going to attach it, just that one to that one. That's probably about as simple as a circuit network gets. Just 2 inserters talking to each other. On this one, I want to set it to override stack size to 1. I want it to put none for enable. I want it to always work, but read hand contents, hold. Very important to know the difference between pulse and hold. Pulse means whenever it grabs something, it just counts it once. It only has it registered for that pulse or that tick in the game. Whereas hold, it continues to read that it's there as long as it's holding it in its grabber or in its hand, whatever you want to say, or its claw. So read hand contents and hold. And then on this one, I tell it, again, override to 1, and I tell it enable, where's it at? Copper plate equals 0. So what that does is if this one's holding a piece of copper plate, like this one is right now, it'll be saying I have 1 copper plate and sending that message to this inserter, but this inserter is set to only work when copper plate equals 0. So if this inserter is holding something, this inserter will not function. And I can go ahead and just drop 2 more of these because we do need 3 to keep the copper cable manufacturer going. My bots are on their union break. There they go. And also keep in mind, whenever you build anything using red or green wire from a blueprint or just copy and paste, the red or green wire is free. You don't actually have to make it if you're playing in a regular survival game. So let's just drop this thing, the loader, to get our copper ore so this thing can start going. And you'll see for just a tick, whenever it's moving something, it shows red. And after a few minutes, when this thing catches up, give me some. See, if I just go ahead and manually, it'll back up after a few minutes. But now you'll see that this one and this one, because I put in too much, but this inserter is no longer working, and this furnace is turned off because it's waiting for this inserter to be empty. Now it does usually keep just a couple in supply, and you really can't avoid that, but at least 2 is better than 100. And if I just come up here and remove this, you'll see as soon as it's able to move copper, then it starts functioning again. And so just periodically it waits. And that's how to keep your lines of furnaces from eating too much ore, and making more plates than they need. And it's just a very simple setup. Thanks, and have a great day.